Patrick McHenry and Democratic challenger David Wilson Brown engaged in what some might consider a late-in-the-game debate. Brown pitched health care.
We need to guarantee health care for American citizens. We can do this through expanded and improved Medicare for all.
Authorities say 3 high schoolers were hospitalized in Perquimans County after sharing a Captain Crunch bar laced with marijuana. You're listening to NCN News.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
East Carolina University trustees took no action after meeting behind closed doors for more than 2 hours on Tuesday.
ECU trustees called a special meeting and immediately went into a closed session to consider confidential personnel information, according to a public meeting notice. When they came back into open session, the board took no public vote. You may remember recently Heather Macy suddenly resigned as head women's basketball coach after what she said was a misunderstanding of NCAA practice rules. The university is still looking for a new athletics director after trustees approved a $1.26 million buyout for Jeff Compher more than 7 months ago. I am Bruce Farrell.
There's a sign that the fight against opioid addiction may be working.
Overdose deaths still rising, but Health Secretary Alex Azar says the rate has begun to level off after years of rapid increases. Better access to treatment and antidotes and greater caution by doctors in prescribing, all contributing to the trend. Fighting the opioid epidemic has been one of the few issues uniting Republicans and Democrats, with both the Obama and Trump administrations putting money into treatment programs, and President Trump due to sign a new bipartisan bill today. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
A pedestrian is dead after being struck by a car in Raleigh late last night. The 60-year-old man's name has not been released. Following a day-long stop in southern Mexico, a caravan of Central American migrants is expected to resume its journey toward the U.S. border. Reporter Lexi Harrison-Cripps has been traveling with the group.
It's been an amazing spirit. Everyone is very positive. People are coming out to provide food, handing out water. There are pregnant women in the caravan and they're getting free medical advice. I saw one woman just handing out bread to children. The officials in Weekster, they were organising shade. It's incredibly hot here. Handing out water and just providing as much comfort really as they could.
Mike Trayley, NCN News.
AM 590 WCAB Rutherfordton with FM translator service on W265DW at 100.9. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. South Carolina is home to a Mega Millions ticket worth $1.6 billion. ABC's Kenneth Moten says that's where the only winning ticket was sold.
The Mega Millions ballooned to Mega Billions last week, breaking a world record. The jackpot just got bigger and bigger. No winner since July. The jackpot and the unprecedented cash payout of $904 million had lotto fever spreading across the U.S.
I just want to be a New Yorker that wins.
I could use part of $1.6 billion.
Mega Millions confirmed early this morning there is only one winning jackpot ticket.
In South Carolina, you can stay anonymous. Turkey's president today is renewing his demands that the suspects in the killing of reporter Jamal Khashoggi face justice. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Istanbul. He says the U.S. is revoking the visas as some of the Saudis believe to be involved.
This is just some of the individuals that they think are responsible for the murder. Presumably, this is some of the individuals who have already been detained by the Saudi authorities. So what actual impact that will have intangible action, we'll have to wait and see.
The migrant caravan making its way through Mexico toward the U.S. is splitting. Some people now say they may try to cross the border into Arizona. ABC's Lana Zach is there.
Prior to this caravan, actually, the biggest issue that I was hearing from people out here when they were talking about immigration policies was President Trump's policy of separating families. That was causing people to turn away from the Republican Party.
One person is dead after a crash involving a school bus in Alabama.
The school bus was on Interstate 20, taking students from a Tuesday night football game in the town of Leeds back to Roanoke on the eastern edge of Alabama. State police say a westbound pickup truck crossed the median and collided with the bus, both vehicles ending up on the shoulder of the freeway. One person in the truck was killed. 11 other people were hurt, including 8 students. The bus driver was taken by helicopter to a Birmingham hospital. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Don't go bankrupt. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 866-844-7344. That's 866-844-7344.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
6 children have died at a New Jersey rehab center for critically ill kids. ABC's Whit Johnson says they contracted a virus normally associated with the common cold.
On their website, the facility says they provide long-term care for medically fragile children, their immune systems severely compromised. The New Jersey Department of Health saying the combination of a worse strain of adenovirus together with a fragile population has led to a more severe outbreak. The Wanacue Center releasing a statement saying it continues to fully cooperate with the agencies and has sought out their medical guidance with respect to the virus.
Israeli investigators may be wrapping up their corruption probe into the prime minister.
A source at Israel's Justice Ministry tells ABC News there are no indications police will question Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu again over corruption allegations. That supports a new Israeli report that police have completed their criminal probes into 3 cases against Netanyahu and that police are now working on new recommendations for the Attorney General. Analysts believe Netanyahu may call early elections to get ahead of a decision by the Attorney General. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Cleanup in northern Rhode Island after a rare New England tornado. Beverly LaRoche was in the middle of the storm north of Providence.
If all of us women and we went outside said it was the worst 5 minutes of our lives. We couldn't believe what was going on.
However, there are no reports of any injuries. This is ABC News.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? The IRS has special programs in place that can eliminate or reduce your tax debt by thousands of dollars. With a call to ATA, you can stop the wage garnishments, levies, and tax liens now. The IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements and other favorable programs. You may qualify for substantial savings, so get the help you need. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call ATA to see if you qualify. 800-805-1055. That's 800-805-1055. 800-805-1055.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Deer season has arrived, and Oakland Feed and Seed has what you need for the season. Buck jam and buck forage oats, 6-way deer forage mix, and 5-way deer forage mix. Check on the winter peas, molasses, 1 gallon and 2.5 gallon. Oakland Feed and Seed carries chicory, deer greens, dried molasses, beet juice, and more. If you're a deer hunter or want to be, go see Oakland Feed and Seed. Also, grass season is coming soon, and you can be ready with 17-17-17 fertilizer and 10-10-10 fertilizer, K31 Fescue, and 5-Star Turf Fescue. Make Oakland Feed and Seed your first stop because they have it all. Oakland Road, Spindale.
upper-level moisture over the region this afternoon will leave us with a fair amount of high cirrus cloud cover, probably diminishing from the north late in the day. We'll turn warmer than yesterday with a west to southwest breeze. We'll have highs around 66 to 71. Tonight, turning mainly clear, we'll have a bright full or almost full moon with lows in the upper 30s to mid-40s. Then sunny skies on tap for Wednesday. Cooler again tomorrow with a northerly wind. Highs about 60 to 66. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Mike Moss. 42 degrees currently here in Rutherfordton. Beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. Warming up to about 67 and sunny skies today. Dropping back to 41, about where we are right now for the overnight low. Now, the rain is expected to start sometime tomorrow evening and rain pretty much Thursday night and Friday. And mostly clouded with rain Friday night and early Saturday. Then starts clearing out here, diminishing a little bit Saturday afternoon and Sunday. Only about 20% chance of rain. So they're expecting some heavy rain coming up. As a matter of fact, due to the threat of heavy rain Friday, the powers that be in the school systems have made decisions to transfer the games from Friday night to Thursday night. Thomas Jefferson at Mount Island Charter and Chase at South Point have been moved to Thursday night. In our featured game, Shelby at East will be Thursday night at 6:45, and RS and at East Gaston, so far as we know, they will still be played on Friday night. But all the others moved to a Thursday night game. And our game of the week, Shelby at East, will be 6:45 Thursday night here on WCAB in Rutherfordton. Now we have these death announcements. Patricia Ann O'Brien Carter, age 76, of Cove Road, Rutherfordton, passed away Monday at her home. A celebration of life of Patricia Carter will be held at 5 p.m. Thursday, October 25th at Crow's Funeral Chapel with Reverend David Genry officiating. The family will receive friends from 4 until 5 prior to the service. Again, that's Patricia Ann O'Brien Carter. Angela S. Scoggins, age 65, of Cliffside, died Sunday at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Thursday, October 25th, at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel with Reverend Dean Cox and Reverend Jim Splon officiating. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Angela S. Scoggins. Francis McKinney Hawk, age 66, of Forest City, died Saturday, September 29th at Fairhaven of Forest City. A memorial service will be held at 5:30 Thursday, November the 1st, at the Pageant and King Chapel for Francis McKinney Hawk. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. The complete information on these and others as they become available to us can be heard this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on the most information for the Foothills. 100.9 FM, 590 AM. We thank you for depending on WCAB to get your information to you. This heads up coming up is a few weeks away yet, but let me go ahead and give you the heads up on this. A free community event, Salute to Veterans. Let's remember the sacrifice and service of our heroes. That'll be Saturday, November the 10th, 9:30 at RS Middle School. There'll be some food, military vehicles. Bring a new unwrapped toy as well for Toys for Tots. For more information, you can visit us on Facebook at Salute to Vets. Again, that is coming up November the 10th, 9:30 at RS Middle School. And they're needing bell ringers for the Salvation Army. If you'd like to ring the bell an hour, 2 hours, or half a day, just contact the Salvation Army there in Forest City and get your group, your study group, your Sunday school class, or your civic club together and pick some time to ring the bell for the Salvation Army. They also have some minimum wage page positions too. If you'll call for information, you can apply for that in the Forest City office of the Salvation Army, right downtown Forest City.
Kyrsten Sinema. She's the Arizona Democrat candidate for Senate, the seat being vacated by Jeff Flake. Actually, he's being vacated from it. Now, in 2003, while the military was fighting the Taliban, Ms. Sinema told an interviewer that she had no problem with American citizens who wanted to join up with the enemy, with the Taliban. Now, other Sinema quotes are surfacing. In a 2006 interview, her target was stay-at-home moms. That's right, the Democrat Party's current candidate for Senate in Arizona accused stay-at-home moms of leeching off their husbands by cashing their checks while pretending to be feminists. She used the BS word and the F-bomb to describe these women's attitude. Once upon a time, openly rooting for America's enemies or calling American mothers leeches would have been enough to disqualify anybody from running for the United States Senate and the political party disavowing them. But not today. Democrats are willing to do anything or put up with anybody for office they think can raise money and win a seat. That's how desperate for power they have become. The fact that they think this stuff is going to help them win is what's mind-boggling to me. Say, folks, if you own land, you're going to want to listen to this. My good friends at Mahindra may have the best Mahindra tractor deal I've ever seen. For a limited time, get a Mahindra E-Max 20S HST for as low as $95 a month. This is a versatile 20-horsepower Mahindra E-Max for less than $100 a month. Now, this offer even includes Mahindra's 7-year limited powertrain warranty and access to Mahindra's nationwide dealer parts and service network. So get the E-Max for the minimum. This big-time offer will not last. Save big on the world's #1 selling tractor, Mahindra.
6.49% APR financing now through December 31st, 2018. See your dealer or MahindraUSA.com for more information. Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at East Rutherford Equipment in Ellenboro, or visit EastRutherfordEquipmentLLC.com. That's EastRutherfordEquipmentLLC.com.
Thank you for making WCAB your radio station of choice in the foothills. Now get the best of both worlds. 100.9 FM and 590 AM Rutherfordton.
We all make promises, big and small, tested over time and distance, tried by circumstances and decisions.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I do solemnly swear to bear true faith and allegiance.
To help you when you are in need.
To tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
To be considerate and caring. Courageous and strong.
For better.
For worse.
In sickness and in health.
To love and cherish.
To be your loving, faithful friend.
Partner.
Child.
Parent.
Neighbor.
One of our most important commitments is to support our nation's veterans. Learn how you can help a veteran going through a difficult time by visiting MakeTheConnection.net.
The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. Stop by Henson's anytime right away, as soon as you can, and see Shauna Martin or Steve Marshall for your kitchen and bath ideas. Been having some thoughts about doing some of that? Well, you get a free consultation, so let them bring your remodel or your new construction dreams into a reality. They have a beautiful showroom with a huge selection of cabinet and countertop samples and 2 full-size kitchens to get your ideas on a roll. It's beautiful. They have a beautiful display room there. With over 35 years of combined experience, Shauna and Steve can help you through every step of the way. Now, all the questions you have, bring them to them. They'll be glad to help you walk through the process and help you decide just what's best for your kitchen and bath. Stop by and see them at Henson's, Duke Street, Forest City. You'll be surprised and glad you did.
More movies have been made about the shootout at the OK Corral than any other Old West event. And true to Hollywood's reputation, they didn't let the facts stand in the way of a good story. In December of 1879, the Earps arrived in Tombstone. Their interest was to get a piece of the action that resulted from the mines. At this time, the Cowboys were the political power in Tombstone, and the money was good. For instance, Sheriff Behan was supposedly making about $40,000 a year. That's the equivalent to about $700,000 today. The shootout was actually a turf fight between two gangs. The Cowboys were the Democrats, rural people, and the establishment. The Earps were the Republicans, city folk, and the newbies. Now, the Earp gang comprised of more than Wyatt, Morgan, Virgil, and Doc. There were two other Earp brothers, James and Warren. In addition, there was Bat Masterson and Luke Short. And Luke Short was every bit the gunman that Wyatt and Bat were. For a variety of reasons, only 4 members participated in the shootout. James Earp was a bartender who had gotten his fill of shooting in the Civil War. Warren Earp had gotten shot in a ruckus in Mexico and was with his parents in California. Bat Masterson had left to help his brother in Dodge City, and Luke Short had killed a man in self-defense a few months earlier. He had left town to prevent one of the man's friends from shooting him in the back. Now that we have it set up, the shootout will take place the next time we're together. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Now let's get caught up in the crime-fighting world and find out what's been taking place through the Sheriff's Department. And Officer King is on the phone with me right now to give that update. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing today, Jim?
Doing great. What's on the report today?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 122 calls for service. There were 10 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 182 people confined. On our incident reports, we had 3 incidents that occurred last night in the Dobbinsville area of Ellenboro. First one occurred at 163 Dobbins Road, Ellenboro, reported by Lisa Matheny. It was attempted first-degree burglary. The second one was reported by Sue Taylor from 170 Dobbins Road. It was attempted first-degree burglary and damage to personal property. And the third one was a Melissa Green from 122 Dobbins Road. It was also a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. In these incidents, a Harley Rice was located and arrested on scene and charged with attempted first-degree burglary, breaking and entering felony, and larceny after breaking and entering, possession of burglary tools, and damage to personal property. And he received a $90,000 secured bond. On the other incident reports, Michael Connor from Hunter Road in Rutherford reported a first-degree trespass and damage to personal property. Brandy Cordell from Piney Mountain Church Road in Ellenboro reported a larceny of a motor vehicle. Same was a 2010 Nissan Altima. And a Butler Auto Parts from McSwain Road in Forest City reported a case of forgery. And a Donald Maccabee from Church Drive in Forest City reported a break and entering felony and larceny after break and entering. Looks like it was larceny of medication. On the other arrest reports, Kelsey Stanley from Airwood Drive in Rutherford was served with a show cause order. Christopher Towery from Cane Creek Mountain Road in Bostic was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon, second-degree trespass, and assault on a female. Received a $1,500 secured bond. Ethan Towery, also from Cane Creek Mountain Road in Bostic, was arrested and charged with assault and battery and second-degree trespass, and received a $1,500 unsecured bond. And a Christopher McSwain from Eastwood Drive in Shelby was served with a failure to appear on a misdemeanor and received a $12,000 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
Officer King, I appreciate that thorough report, and you'll be safe out there today.
Thank you, Jim. You have a good one. Stay warm.
Bye-bye. So Officer King reporting in from the Sheriff's Department this morning. It's now 19 past the hour.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Amanda now can give us the report from the Communications Center for the past 24 hours. Amanda, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What's on your report?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 375 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 59 for the emergency medical services, 23 for rescue, 122 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 55 for Forest City, 1 for Lake Lure, 16 for Rutherfordton, and 66 for Spindale. Ellenboro Fire Department had a motor vehicle crash, Rutherfordton had a motor vehicle crash, SDO had a motor vehicle crash, and Spindale had a structure fire assisted by Rutherfordton, and that is all.
Thanks so much. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye. And we'll move over to SDO report right after this.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Shallow, Danieltown, Oakland, SDO community. Ruby Taylor's on the phone to give us a report from that fire district. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Steve Wood, Randy Hambrick, and Hattie Bannings, and Sybil Walker, and hope she has a good day today. And all the rest of them have a good day. And the signs are in the head today, neck, and go into the neck tomorrow, and that's all I've got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. I appreciate it. You enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Gregory's Restaurant over at Rutherfordton, one of those fine places that you have no hesitancy recommending friends and recommending visitors in the community to go to eat lunch or dinner. One of the best places to eat in this county has got to be Gregory's Original. Enjoy fresh and delicious burgers, subs, grinders, pastas, garden salads, thick steaks prepared the way you like them. Had lunch over there yesterday with a good friend at Gregory's. Call on Gregory's for any catering events you might have. He does the simple to elaborate. If you got a wedding reception coming up or a reunion reception or just a good old-fashioned get-together, Gregory's can deliver an elegant table fit for a king or queen. Choose Gregory's for lunch or dinner today. They're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 9, Saturday, 4 to 9. Located there in the Park Lane Plaza, Rutherfordton. And for catering or carry-out, you can call 287-2171, 287-2171. And a surprise for everybody here in this community at Foothills, Gregory is going to start a radio show right here on 100.9 FM Saturday evening. Yeah, listen to that. It should be interesting. Gregory on the radio right here, Saturday nights.
Get all your deer season supplies at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply. Cheryl deer corn, $7 for a 50-pound bag. Deer cob corn, $8 per bag. Deer apples, $9 a bag. Peanut deer mix, $12.99 for a 50-pound bag. And Farmer's Friend has a deer condo stand with legs for $17.21.98. For all your farming needs and supplies, let Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply be your go-to store. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
I told my friend about Olmsted Plumbing, and boy, was she happy.
What did she have to say?
I told her to call 245-7302, and they would get right out there.
And did she say she would
I told her to ask around. Homeowners, builders, and everybody likes Olmsted. Eric and Chad Olmsted and their team understand the homeowners' needs, and I like that.
They have an inventory of replacement parts and specialized equipment and tools for any job.
I told her that, too.
Well, what was that number again?
245-7302. That's 245.
Yeah, I got it. 245-7302. Olmsted Plumbing. UNC is going to be on the radio with us Saturday morning. It starts at 10 o'clock countdown. Virginia and UNC right here on the radio. Here's Steve now up in Rumley Ball with our morning report. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
What's going on up there?
Beautiful dark morning here.
Beautiful dark morning. You got a full moon though, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We do. The light's shining on us.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful morning here. It's 43 degrees, middle of the week, and we're just basically moving forward. There's not really any problems or concerns to report. I do have an announcement. The Wilson clan will be having a reunion this Saturday at the fire station over here next to the security gate, the Fairfield Mountains Fire Department, at 1 p.m. So that's this Saturday. So, and I believe the Friday's going to be kind of a wash. We canceled our, and I haven't promoted it because it was open to the public, but we did cancel our haunted trail this year because we're supposed to, I guess we're going to get some rain from that hurricane or something that's coming through Mexico. I don't know. I haven't been watching the weather too closely, but
there was another one out there on the coast. So it was a couple of stirring up stuff out there on the coast again, another hurricane. So I don't know if this rain's coming from that or not. But there's a lot of cancellations. Friday night football has been moved to Thursday night in most cases.
Wow. And everywhere I'm reading, it's 100%. So, yeah, so we did cancel our haunted trail. I would have had to have been out there in the rain probably, so I'm not going to complain.
Were you going to be one of the goblins?
I don't know where I was going to be. My wife is a very good makeup artist, and she can make me look a lot of different things. So, yeah. I guess that could go in a bad direction, so we'll just leave it there. But nevertheless, we'll cancel that for the weather. We've had a lot of weather issues, I think, this year more than normal. Yeah. So I guess we're probably going to get an ice storm in December. the going joke is. So last year we got more snow in December, I think, than the rest of the months. So who knows what's in store for us, but we'll be here.
Well, I don't know if the indication is there or not, but I saw a woolly worm the other day. It was solid black. And that's supposed to mean it's going to be a cold winter. And when the woolly worm is black like that, it means it's going to be a cold winter. So I don't know if that means anything or not.
That means I'll make sure I have all my jackets handy. We'll see what happens. We'll contend with it, whatever it takes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We roll with the punches, can't we?
Yes, sir. We have fun doing it.
Yeah. Well, listen, you have a great day up there in the mountains, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, Jim.
Thank you. Bye-bye. 28 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday. And coming up a little after 8 o'clock this morning, Brent Washburn will be in. He's my guest today. He's a candidate for school board, Democrat candidate for the Board of Education, and he'll be in to talk about his candidacy this morning, a little after 8 o'clock right here, live on the radio from the Ballroom. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the state of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. We're always made to feel welcome when we go to the Hudlow Fire District and talk with Bob Hodge. Bob, good morning.
Well, good hump day morning.
It certainly is. Boy, I'll tell you, this month is fast moving away.
It is. It's moving fast there. And a little cool around the edges this morning.
Yes, sir.
So if you go out early, you better put your jacket or something on there. But it looks like it's going to warm up a little after a while, but next few days looks like it's going to be kind of damp and cold there. So
soak it out, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we better gather in another stick of firewood or something there.
Bring it in before it gets wet.
That's right. And Jim, up here with the fire department, we put on a safety program at the Mount Vernon Ruth School yesterday afternoon for the kids. And Lewis and George Ford wedding anniversary today. But we didn't have any fire calls during the night, so that's good.
Good.
Everything's looking good up here, Jim, this morning, so you take care and have a good day.
Bob, you're doing a good job up there keeping things quiet up there, so keep up the good work, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Bob Hodge reporting in this morning. Been with us a long, long time, and you can catch him most afternoons with the afternoon report, too, with Tom Green. Well, if you are beginning to get in those stages of difficult hearing, one of the hearing loss is one of those things that can onset early dementia because people start isolating themselves away from the family because they can't communicate. A family gets aggravated because they have to repeat themselves or raise their voices. So you sort of lose contact with them and isolate yourself, and those kind of things help with onset dementia. So please get something done. A hearing instrument is so small anymore with the Miracle Ear hearing instrument, so small anymore. You hardly know they're there, but boy, does it make a difference. And with the holiday season coming on, with all the holiday cheer, the music, the singing, the carols, you'll want to be part of that and listen to the beautiful Christmas holidays. So go by Miracle Ear, talk with Lisa Terry and her team over there about that free hearing test and move in the direction of getting something done. There's so many features you'll appreciate about Miracle Ear. Ask Lisa about it when you're ready for a positive change in your hearing. They're located at 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102, right beside Southern Carpet there in Forest City. The phone number is 828-368-4126. Miracle Ear. Here's Sue Price now reporting from Cherry Mountain Fire District. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Tim.
How are things in your neighborhood?
Well, I reckon things are going pretty good. It's finally come daylight. We had a beautiful moon though this morning. It was so pretty.
Yeah, that was a beautiful sunset last night, too.
Oh, I know. It really was. Well, let's see, I'm starting out at 40 degrees this morning, so it's not too bad out there, but sounds like we're going to be in for maybe some rain coming in and get a little cooler. I have no calls from the fire department. I have no birthdays on my church calendar, on my personal calendar. I've got Charles Battle and Macy Lovelace. And Fairview has James Siegman. And First Broad has Charles Battle. So we hope everybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. In my announcements, Fairview will be having their fall festival on the 31st. And First Broad will be having Trunk or Treat on the 31st, and that starts at 5 o'clock. So, not a whole lot going on over here, but we hope everybody will have a good day today, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Well, thank you, Sue. I appreciate that very much. I'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We're being kind today to Lewis and Joyce Ward of Rutherfordton. They're celebrating a wedding anniversary today, so we want to wish them a happy. If you know them, give them a call and congratulate them because they're now the newest members of the WCAB Be Kind 2 Hall of Fame. At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year. And if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of a heart attack, every second matters. That's why the emergency department at Rutherford Regional Health System is a chest pain accredited facility. What does that mean to you? It means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attacks. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to safe quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com. Upstate Union Mills is our next stop. That's where we'll find the Kelly Report given to us distinctly from Brenda Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning on a beautiful Wednesday morning?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah. Did we better enjoy this because it gets worse, don't it?
It does, yeah. This is just the beginning of a long winter, I believe.
Yeah. So the lottery winner was from South Carolina, right?
I think it was bought in South Carolina, yeah.
Did they say what part of South Carolina?
They haven't yet. They have not found out who it is. They just know it was the...
and it was one person, right?
That's correct.
Ooh, somebody's rich, ain't it?
Can you imagine that?
No, I can't.
Can you imagine how that person's life's going to change?
Yeah.
I bet he's going to find more cousins and in-laws he's ever had.
Well, if I didn't buy a ticket, but if I had and I would win, I would donate what the Lord tells us to the church.
Yep.
And I'd make sure that all my children was took care of.
Yep. I do.
That's what I do.
I do some of that too, and I'd make sure there's some of these places overseas that needs money to build a church. I'd help them build some churches and
like these mission people that go and do.
Feed the hungry people and clothe the hungry people.
Yeah. Maybe build a house for a homeless person.
Yeah. Take a cruise or two.
No, I don't care about taking no cruise. I'm not scared of being on the ocean and stuff, but I just don't. You take a cruise and you end up with all them stomach viruses and stuff.
That does happen from time to time. I've never been on one where that happened, but it does happen.
It happens a lot, yeah.
But if you ever win a cruise, I'll be glad to take that from you.
Okay, I'll let you have it. If I ever win a cruise, I'll let you have it. You and Miss Faye.
And I'll send you a card from wherever we go.
Okay, that'd be nice. Well, let's see. I've got 36 degrees on the front porch this morning. Birthdays and anniversaries today. I've got Larry Lane, and I believe it's a couple you're being kind to, Lewis and Joyce Wood, and Bone and Cynthia Goforth anniversaries. I don't have anything on round here, so we hope all these people have a great old big day on their special day. And in ways of announcements, we got a country breakfast buffet Saturday, October the 27th from 7 to 10 a.m., and this is at the White House Community Center on Painters Gap Road in Union Mills. Adults is $6, children 6 to 12, $3, under 6 is free, so that's a good breakfast to go to. And then Far City Church of the Nazarene on Hardin Road in Far City is going to have a Harvest Festival October the 31st from 6:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m., and they'll be passing out candy for the children, and they're going to have games and hay rides, and they may have some hot dogs and stuff like that. So if you want your child to stay safe and have some good, clean fun, just bring them by the church, and I'm sure there'll be other churches doing that too. And they're going to have they'll have a trick or treat over at the community house here in Union Mills on Halloween night. I think I'm not sure what time it starts. I don't have it. It just says they're going to have it. But anyway, I think it's usually around 5, somewhere around like that. So everybody just be careful when they go trick-or-treating.
Did you tell me you were attending the Church of the Nazarene now?
Yeah, that's where I've been going. Mm-hmm.
Have you met my friend Dick McCullum?
Oh, yeah, he's my Sunday school teacher. He's a great teacher.
He's a good man. He and his wife both are. His
wife
is as she can be.
She is, yeah. They're a fine couple. I really enjoy them, yeah.
They're good friends of mine.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'll ask them Sunday if they know you.
Yeah,
they were traveling this week, or this past Sunday or somewhere. I don't know where they were.
They do travel a lot, yeah. They got friends up all over the country, family. So, I'm glad to know that he's your Sunday school teacher.
Yeah, he does a fine job.
Good. Well, tell him I said hello.
I will. I'll say that little Jim Bishop said tell you hello.
He'll laugh at that. I read where a man bought a parrot, and the parrot was constantly insulting him. So the man tried every way he could to get the parrot to stop insulting him, but nothing worked. So finally, he put the parrot in the freezer.
Oh, my goodness.
After a few minutes, the insult stopped, so he opened the freezer and takes out the parrot. And shivering, the parrot stammers, "Sorry for being rude. Please forgive me." Then after a moment, the parrot softly asked, "What exactly did the turkey do?"
Oh, my goodness.
You have a good day.
You have a good day.
Bye-bye. Brother Kelly up in Union Mills reporting in this morning. It's 40 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. And Southern Carpet would love for you to come by and let them show you their display of carpet and floor covering. They've got such a wide range of beautiful carpet and floor covering to fit any mode, any size room, or 2 rooms or 2 houses, whatever you've got, they can fill that bill. They have more on hand, ready to install high-quality floor products than anybody else, residential and commercial. Carpets, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, sheet vinyl, and it's all at your convenience. So they're proud and offer American-made products whenever possible. So it would be wise for you and your family to continue helping Southern Carpet grow in our local community. They're locally owned, locally grown. They're local folks. Southern Carpet, you'll find them very easily over Forest City, 1512 West Main Street. That phone number is 245-0310. They're open 8 to 5. That's Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, 8:30 to noon. They're closed on Sunday.
It is so easy to keep your car running clean when you visit RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash. The RS Speedy Lube can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids, vacuum out the car, pull next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers. Then pull next door to the RS Speedy Lube Automatic Car Wash. Make your car feel clean all under and all over. It's possible at RS Service Center and Speedy Lube Car Wash, Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton.
7:41 on this Wednesday hump day morning. Remember, a little after 8 o'clock this morning, Brent Washburn scheduled to be my guest, talking about his candidacy for Rutherford County Board of Education. He'll be here in the Blue Room with me. Right now we're going to Ellenboro, talk with Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. In bad shape this morning.
You are? Why is that?
I spent all my money on the lottery tickets I didn't win.
Oh, well, what can I say?
Well, you put $2 here and $2.
Maybe you can find out who it is and become one of his first cousins or a brother or something.
Yeah, I need to find out, become a real great best friend or something.
That's right.
Because he will probably have a lot of cousins and best friends.
I just hope the people who bought lottery tickets, I hope they just spent a $1 here and $10 there and $20. I hope they didn't spend their week's paycheck on something like that and end up losing it. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Like family goes hungry while they're buying lottery tickets.
I didn't spend a whole lot of money on lottery tickets. Never have.
Yeah, no, I worked too hard for mine. Yep.
But hey, somebody's happy this morning.
Somebody is happy.
If they know they won.
Yeah.
Man, just lost the ticket.
Oh no, wouldn't that be terrible?
That would be my luck. Of course, I didn't even know what the numbers were.
Get it washed in a pair of jeans or something.
We didn't win the ticket, but we're going out here today. We're going to have a good time anyway. Probably have a better time I would if I won. I'd be worried to death if I'd won. But I wouldn't know what to do with that kind of money. Just thinking about that kind of money scares me. You have 3 big warehouses, just put it all in.
Well, if you happen to win it, come by and talk with me, and I'll see if I can make a few suggestions for you.
Oh, yeah. Somebody would be glad to take care for me. You didn't come down and manage my money with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my wife could manage it real good. She could blow it a year. But it's good that it's quiet out. There's not a whole lot going on. See, one problem. Excuse me. They had 4 calls. I had one accident already this morning. Then they had one public assist. Then they had one medical call. Then that's 9 by 6 o'clock. They had an automobile car out on the street. This morning, nothing's going on. But this year, we have Greer, he's had one. Officer Jake Fire and Officer Goodrich has had one. And a 2-piece fry coming Friday night over at Carroll Church. That started 4:30 running till. And going to be having a barbecue dinner Saturday over the road at the United Methodist Church. That started 12 o'clock. And it can be changed from Friday night to Thursday night at East
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that's all I heard somebody say. They're going to try to beat the rain. But that's all that happened down here. Yep, you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
It's a pleasure, Luther. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
All right, take care now.
Bye. It's time for birthdays and anniversaries. This is the 24th day of the month, October 24th. If it is your birthday or your anniversary, please call us and let us celebrate with you. We'll put you in the drawing. We'll have a drawing for some donuts from Granny B's. Daylight Donuts from Granny B's Bakery over in Spindale. So call. Phone lines are clear, 287-3356.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style of furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
43 years experience behind the name, voted best of best 8 years. That's why folks depend on Hutchins Pest Control. You can call on Tim and his team for moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, air quality control, dehumidification, and of course, pest control, rats, fire ants, termites, wildlife removal, and so much more. Call them today for your free estimate. 287-5171. Get the job done by the professionals and relax. Hutchins Pest Control, honest, dependable, and on-time service.
Hey, why don't you stop into the famous drop-in food store sometime today for that chicken breast and 6 wedges and a roll. Well, the special price is $3.99 a box. Good deal, good price, and good chicken. Stop on the way home from school for the kids' size slushy, the For Real milkshake. Do you need something to tide them over till supper? Well, try the kids' meal. That's 6 chicken bites, a corn dog or a hot dog, 3 wedges, and a 12-ounce fountain drink, just $3.19. Or stop in for a delicious 99-cent 12-ounce cup of coffee this morning. It's good coffee. It's good coffee. And all these great deals and more are only at your local drop-in food store. So as you drive by, drop in. Come on. Drop in.
Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale has hundreds of super low prices on most of your favorite name brand items. They have 500 plus prices lowered across the entire store. Stock up on fresh meats, produce, frozen foods, snack foods, and your favorite beverages and pastries. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 8. Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy anniversary to Lewis and Joyce Ward of Rutherford, and it's their wedding anniversary. Crystal Lauder, Polk County Secretary at Polk Middle School, is having a birthday. Crystal, good morning. Sheila Trotter over in Chase Community is having a birthday. Marshall Baynard also is celebrating today on this 24th day of the month. And Larry Lane and Vaughn and Cynthia. Larry Lane's having a birthday, and Vaughn and Cynthia Goforth celebrating an anniversary. So happy birthday, happy anniversary to all these folks. And we'll have a drawing in just a few moments, see who's going to win the donuts from Granny B's.
South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu, in Episcopal Life, tells about a little boy watching a man who was selling balloons. Every so often, the balloon seller would release a balloon into the air to draw attention to his product. Finally, the boy approached the man and said, "Excuse me, sir, how come when you let go of the balloon, a green balloon, a white balloon, red balloon, or even a black balloon, they always float up into the sky?" The man replied, "Son, it's not the color of the balloon that matters. It's the stuff inside." Oh, how true that is. It does matter greatly what's on the inside. Our three boys did not get their growth spurt until the latter part of their high school years. Consequently, they were smaller than most of the boys with whom they were competing in sports. Frequently, they heard me remind them, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. They heard it so often, they started quoting it whenever they thought that I was about to share the wisdom with them again. Jesus reminded us that what a man really is flows from his heart, his inner being. It doesn't matter what he looks like, the color of his skin, what side of the tracks he was born on, or who his parents are. His inner spirit is what really counts. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for today's Key to Confident Living are available in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
And a big congratulations going out to the Daylight Donut winner this morning, and it's Crystal Lauder. Lives over in Polk County, secretary at Polk Middle School. So, Crystal, we'll have that certificate over here. Stop by, then run it by Granny B's, and find yourself enjoying those Daylight Donuts. Coming up the third hour of the morning wake-up call this morning, Brett Washburn's candidate for school board is scheduled to be with us a little after 8 o'clock this morning to talk about his candidacy for the school board. Then at 8:30 this morning, Word of Faith continues to speak out and give their side of the story of the persecution they've been receiving. That's all straight ahead right here on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Meanwhile, we'll enjoy some of the music down memory lane.
Earth angel, will you be mine, my darling dear, love you all the time. I'm just a fool in love with you. Earth angel, the one I adore, love you forever and evermore. I'm just a fool in love with you. I fell for you, and I knew the vision of your loveliness. I hoped and I pray that someday I'll be the vision of your happiness. Oh, earth angel, please be mine, my darling dear. Love you all the time. I'm just a fool.
MCN News. I am Mike Rayleigh. The winning ticket for the $1.6 billion Mega Millions jackpot was sold in South Carolina.
I'm Tim Crisula. The South Carolina Lottery allows winners to remain anonymous, one of 8 states to do so. The winner or winners have up to 6 months to claim their prize. The cash option of the $1.6 billion Mega Millions jackpot is an estimated $913 million.
The Columbus County District Attorney's Office says a second suspect has been arrested in connection with the shooting death of a trooper in Columbus County last week. Chauncey Askew has been identified as the second suspect. Columbus District Attorney John David.
I am limited in what I can talk about today factually, but I will tell you that we expect in the near future to be in a courtroom developing some of this information because I realize that there is intense public interest surrounding this incident and a need to know information.
President Trump conceded on Tuesday that there is no proof that terrorists or violent gang members are among the caravan of migrants headed from Central America to the U.S. CBS News correspondent Laura Podesta has more.
After idling in a makeshift tent city yesterday, the caravan is expected to move to the next town, another 38 miles into Mexico today. So it's clearly a slow migration, but President Trump continues to make the caravan an urgent rallying cry for Republicans ahead of the midterms.
Authorities say 3 high schoolers were hospitalized in North Carolina after sharing a Captain Crunch bar laced with marijuana. It happened at Perquimans County High School on Monday. The sheriff's office says it has taken out charges on the suspect. Around 150 voters who received the wrong ballot at an early voting site in Brunswick County will be given a chance to cast a new ballot. For voters who decide to vote again, the original ballot will be discarded and only the new ballot will be counted. You're listening to NTN News.
Continental Tire presents our annual Big Tailgate Tour.
Coming in November, it's Florida State at NC State, followed by in-state rivalries left and right with Wake Forest at NC State, followed by Carolina's trip to Duke, then the Aggie Eagle Classic in Durham, and NC State's trip to face Carolina in Chapel Hill.
Pick up free koozies, t-shirts, and more from Sport Clips. Lose it and lose it and Continental Tire. Remember to drive with care on your Continental Tires and experience the ultimate MVP haircut at Sport Clips.
Tailgate with us. BigTailgateTour.com.
Basketball season is here, and so is the 2018 ACC Basketball Preview Magazine. You can find it on newsstands everywhere and online right now at ACCSports.com. Get the scoop on all the teams with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Want a copy shipped to you? It's easy. Just go to ACCSports.com and click on the Basketball Preview banner.
The Boston Red Sox came out swinging in Game 1 of the World Series last night.
The World Series opener went Boston's way.
Swung on and missed, strike 3, and Game 1 belongs to the Red Sox.
The call on the Red Sox radio network as Boston beats Los Angeles 8-4. The key blow came in the 7th inning.
Nooney swings it, drives one to left, high and deep by the wall, gone!
A 3-run pinch hit home run by Boston's Eduardo Nunez. That gave the Red Sox a 4-run lead and put the game out of reach. Steve Futterman, CBS News at the World Series in Boston.
There was $13.1 billion in hurricane damage across 41 counties, and recovery isn't over yet. Governor Roy Cooper told a biannual North Carolina Emergency Management Assistance Conference held at Sunset Beach. FEMA Administrator Brock Long was also in attendance and told WWAY News.
We walk a fine line between the Office of Inspector General and protecting the public purse, but also rushing and expediting to get assistance into the hands of citizens.
A state panel that approves big corporate incentives on Tuesday approved grants of up to $3 million a year for 10 years to Bridgestone Americas, which is updating its Wilson tire plants. A Japanese journalist believed held hostage by Syrian militants for more than 3 years is now free.
Looking frail and thin, but speaking calmly in English, 44-year-old journalist Junpei Yasuda addressed the camera in a brief recording released by Turkish authorities.
My name is Junpei Yasuda, Japanese journalist.
My name is Junpei Yasuda, he said. I have been held in Syria for 40 months. Now I'm in safe condition. Tokyo said it did not pay a ransom for Yasuda's release, which has been credited to intervention by Qatar and Turkey. Lucy Kraft, CBS News, Tokyo.
Mike Ray.
Let the WCAB marketing team go to work for your business. It works. Call Tracy or Jim at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The Mega Millions, not quite as mega as we all thought. The lottery now saying the jackpot came in at just over $1.5 billion, the second most ever. But that's still a whole lot of money for the one winning ticket. It was sold in South Carolina. ABC Steve Osunsami in Columbia says we may never meet the winner.
Winners of jackpots don't have to come forward, and there are no restrictions on that. They don't have to have a press conference. They don't have to put their picture in the paper. They don't have to release their name.
State Lottery head William Brown tells ABC South Carolina will win too.
The tax on the cash payout should be approximately $60 million.
Turkey's president today keeping up the pressure on Saudi Arabia to turn over the suspects in the death of reporter Jamal Khashoggi. President Erdogan says they all need to face justice. President Trump is set to sign a bill to help fight the opioid crisis today.
The Trump administration today will highlight its efforts to combat the nation's opioid crisis, which President Trump last year declared a national emergency. The president today will sign legislation that passed overwhelmingly in the House and Senate. A big highlight of the bill, it expands access to treatment for addiction, which experts say is a key to containing the crisis. Last year, there were a record 72,000 drug overdose deaths in this country. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Questions over people being stopped from voting in Georgia coming up in the governor's debate. Democrat Stacey Abrams accusing her opponent, Secretary of State Brian Kemp, of suppressing voters.
Under Secretary Kemp, more people have lost the right to vote in the state of Georgia. They've been purged, they've been suppressed, and they've been scared.
But Kemp says
anyone who meets the requirements that's on the pending list, all they have to do is do the same thing that you and I at home have to do. Go to your polling location, show your government ID, and you can vote.
The migrant caravan in Mexico still well over 1,000 miles away from the U.S. border, maybe splitting up. Some migrants say they'll break up from the main group. You're listening to ABC News.
Hey, I'm Brant. So there's this guy named Jordan. He's a healthy guy. He's a dad of 6, and he works as a guide in Alaska. And he goes to the doctor, true story, he goes to the doctor, and he's diagnosed with cancer, stage 4. And here's the thing. He had switched earlier from medical insurance to Medishare, where Christians share each other's medical bills. So the question for Jordan and his wife Jenny was, is this actually going to work?
Our medical bills exceeded $160,000. Medishare members shared all our bills.
And it was about more than just the money, too. This is a real community.
Medishare is a family, a group of people that stick with you through the hardest times of your life. I just don't know how I could have done it without Medishare.
There's a reason this is growing so fast. So if you want to find out more, here is a number for you. *324. That's *324. Message and data rates may apply. Call *324.
The leftovers from what was once Hurricane Willa now moving through Mexico and into already waterlogged parts of Texas. Here's ABC Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
The hill country that has been so saturated from last week's flooding. Austin still under a boil water notice, and a lot of the surrounding areas going to get more rain, especially today through early tomorrow.
Last week's flooding in central Texas has been blamed for at least 2 deaths. There are new questions about pesticides in our cereal.
An environmental advocacy group commissioning tests of popular breakfast products, including Quaker Oats instant oatmeal and Cheerios, and reporting it's found small amounts of glyphosate, the active ingredient in the popular Monsanto weed killer Roundup. The amounts were within limits allowed by the Environmental Protection Agency, but the Environmental Working Group, which says it's also found the herbicide in 45 samples of granola bars and cereals and 16 organic products, says the federal threshold is too high. Quaker insists its products are safe, and regulators have had differing opinions as to whether glyphosate is a carcinogen. Dave Packer, ABC News.
A relatively common virus is now being blamed for the deaths of 6 children at a rehab center in New Jersey. Officials say the kids were affected by an adenovirus. Those viruses normally cause a range of symptoms associated with things like the common cold, but officials say all the children at this center were described as being medically fragile. This is ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Don't go bankrupt. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 866-844-7344. That's 866-844-7344.
Sherry Preston, ABC.
Upper level moisture over the region this afternoon, leaving with a fair amount of high cirrus cloud cover, probably diminishing from the north late in the day. We'll turn warmer than yesterday with a west to southwest breeze. We'll have highs around 66 to 71. Tonight, turning mainly clear, we'll have a bright full or almost full moon with lows in the upper 30s to mid 40s. Then sunny skies on tap for Wednesday. Cooler again tomorrow with a northerly wind. Highs about 60 to 66. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
41 degrees currently here at WCAB. Mostly clear skies. We're going to have sunny skies all day today and clear tonight. But the rain starts coming in here Thursday night and Friday. Now, it's due to the weather or the threat of heavy rain all the football games, well, not all of them, most of the football games have been moved to Thursday night. Thomas Jefferson out Mountain Island Charter and Chase at South Point moved to Thursday night. And our featured game of the week, Shelby at East, will air at 6:45 Thursday right here. RS at East Gaston, still being played on Friday night as far as we know. Not received any word on that being changed, but the others have moved to Thursday night. And we'll have that game, the East Shelby game right here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Jay Coombs and partner with that game Friday night. We'll have Brent Washburn in the studio with me to talk about his candidacy for the Board of Education. That's coming up in just a moment.
This is County Commissioner Alan Toney, District 5, serving all of Rutherford County. I'm a small business owner, married to Kathy, and we have 2 sons. We are members of Golden Valley Missionary Methodist Church. It has been a pleasure to work for you these past 4 years, and we feel good about some of the accomplishments. Let me share some of the things the commissioners have been working on to make Rutherford County stronger economically and safer. In the past 4 years, we have had a commitment to create almost 1,000 jobs with more diverse opportunities. We have greatly enhanced our public safety communications and no property tax increase. It is important to have a commissioner that has a vision for the county and keeps the emphasis on what's best for the citizens, and a good steward of your money, and a commissioner that believes in transparency in local government. Let me continue working for you and your family. I am asking for your vote, and let's keep Rutherford County moving forward. This is Alan Toney. This announcement paid for by the committee to elect Alan Toney.
You deserve a smarter energy future, now. That's why Duke Energy is investing in advanced technology that improves reliability and helps prevent outages. That strengthens the grid against everything from storms to cyber attacks, moves the most vulnerable lines underground, and adds more solar. Because you deserve stronger, cleaner, more reliable energy, and we're determined to deliver it. We're Duke Energy, and we're building your smarter energy future today. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
8:07 here on WCAB Wednesday morning broadcast. In the boardroom with me right now is Brent Washburn. He's a candidate for Rutherford County School Board, and he's with us this morning to talk a little bit about that. Good morning, Brent.
Hey, good morning, Jim.
Glad to have you back with us.
Well, thank you. We were just talking about that when you were off mic. It seems like it's been about 8 years.
Yeah, the county commissioner. Just to benefit of our listeners and those of you who may be new to the area, remind our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, if you go way back, I moved here in 1975, so I don't know if that makes me a native of the area or not. I lived in Virginia before that, moved to the area, fully intended to go back to Virginia. I loved it up there, but I love it down here too, and it's sort of become home, and married, raised my family. I've had a business, Washburn Real Estate, for about 30 years, and dabbled in a little political office from here and there, and enjoyed the service, and so that's part of why I guess I'm getting back into this, or attempting to get back into it.
I was going to ask you, from a county commissioner to school board, why the transition?
Well, 8 years is a long time to serve on the county commission. I think most people that have served in that role would tell you that. The school board's just as important. The county commission has certain roles, and the school board has certain roles, but honestly, if we're going to be thinking about better economies, and we're going to be thinking about how we're successful as a county, I really think our educational system's the base of all of that. And so I've been fortunate. I've served on the school's foundation board for a number of years now, and I'm a McNair mentor. And, when you see some of these kids and they start to get it, they begin to improve. I had one last year that after about 4 years, he started to come around, and that's pretty rewarding. And so I just want to continue to be a part of that.
If you could limit it down, I know there will probably be many, but what are the 3 most important issues facing our county in regards to education?
Well, I think school safety. I mentioned that the other night. The thing about school safety is I don't think any of us know what the sheriff's department and the school system's doing. They can't tell us that. To announce that would not be a good idea. I'm satisfied they're doing some things. One that's a little different for me, broadband access. I know the school board can't control broadband access. We worked on that as county commissioner, and it's a tough solution. You've got to do that through private industry, and so far private industry hasn't seen that rural counties in North Carolina are their best source of capital investment. Really trying to figure out how to get to students, though, that are not achieving at the level we need for them to achieve that, and we want them to achieve that. Trying to figure out how to reach them. And I know that's a big one, and I don't know what that solution is, but I'm interested in that.
What authority does the school board have over school spending?
Well, the school board will put together a budget, and that budget is submitted to the county commissioners. I'm not aware of any of the budgets that have ever been granted. I don't know of many budgets that requests that come to the county commissioners that are granted in full. ICC's come close a few times. School board just has to determine what their priorities are, what their greatest needs are. Their obligation is to make the request, and then generally they meet with the county commissioners, try to help the county commissioners understand what those needs are. Ultimately, it's up to the county commissioners to not pick out the things that are funded, but to choose an amount of money that is allocated to the school system, and then the school system has to prioritize that and make it go as far as they can go.
What is the school budget right now for Rutherford County Schools?
You know, there's so many pass-throughs with that. I'm not even sure. 60 million plus, maybe 80 million plus. There's just so much that goes through the system, and I'm not sure.
What immediate contribution do you feel like you can make on the board should you be elected?
I don't know that there's anything immediate. I think Carolyn Keever's done a good job. You know, I ran for this seat because it was vacant, and I wanted to have, it looked like an opportunity that I could enjoy serving in. I think one of the big lessons I learned in serving on the county commission is that there's a lot you don't know. You may think you know what's going on, but there's a lot that you don't know. So I think for me to begin with, I need to come up to speed. We are going to be getting into another budget year. I need to spend some time trying to understand the school's budget a little bit better. I need to understand what their priorities are. I would like to understand more about what school safety and what's being done around that. I'd like to build some relationships within the existing school board, listen to some of our teachers, administrators, try to understand what those challenges are that they're facing, so that I can know then what to prioritize. So the large part of the first 6 months or a year may be the learning process. But I think most elected officials would be wise to spend some time learning before they spend too much time talking.
A number of years ago, the General Assembly decided to make the school board partisan, take it away the nonpartisan to register Democrat or Republican. How do you feel about that?
I don't agree with it. I think schools are so critical to us. You know, when you look at the partisanship that we have on display today, people can feel strongly one way or the other. You and I may agree or disagree on different issues, but those issues that you and I agree on, we need to be able to work together on. I'll never forget, I listened to Erskine Bowles speak one time, and he was addressing what he thought was one of the biggest problems that we had in Washington at that time. And it boils down to the fact that there's no trust with anybody. And I don't know how you work with people that you don't have any trust level. Is it always going to be the constant struggle one against the other? There is a middle of the road approach that I think can serve our citizens well. We need to listen to each other. I have always believed that I'm not smart enough to have all the answers. Neither is the person sitting in the seat beside me. And that we can learn from one another. And I think there's a balance to come from either partisan side that will get us to a better place.
What has the board done in the past 4 years that you have disagreed with?
I've disagreed with? Now that was supposed to be that I've agreed with. You know, they're involved in so much. I don't know that I know how to answer that question, Jim. You know, the thing that I do agree with is the strategic plan that they put in place. They sort of took a page from a lot of businesses, you know, when things may not be going as well as we'd like. You said about trying to understand what that is and then going back and trying to fix it. I think they've done a good job with that. I'm sure there are things that school board would like to have over again. Don't know what those would be at this point. I'll probably go through that with a learning process as well.
What makes you a better candidate for this position than your Republican candidate?
Oh, I'm not going to say I'm a better candidate. I'll let the voters decide that. Only thing I can tell anybody is that, you know, I applaud Miss Nanny for running. It obviously something she's got an interest in. You know, for me to come in here and start telling people that I'm a better candidate would start me down the path toward that thing where you just create problems with people, and I think we do more when we bring people together. So I admire her for running, and I'm not going to say I'm a better candidate than her.
Okay. We usually give the candidate an opportunity to have the last word, say to our listeners what we haven't discussed, questions I haven't asked you, you'll let them know more about you. So this is your time.
Well, first, I just appreciate you letting me come in. I don't have any prepared statements this morning. I do think I have some things to give. I've been involved in so much in this county, and I've learned a little bit about a lot of things. I do have children, grandchildren in our school system, so I'm invested in it from that point. But as important as that, when I watch people like Mr. and Ms. McNair, all the millions of dollars they poured into systems in this county trying to do things, and when I watch and hear stories about what individual teachers have done, administrators have done, parents have done for other children, I mean, it really is something that is important to me, and I want us to see us be successful. I just don't believe we'd be successful as a county as we want to be if our children that are coming up through our system don't graduate ready to either go to work or go on to college. It would be wonderful to see some of those that go off to college come back and contribute here in Rutherford County. The better we can make the quality of our educational system, and not even the better the quality of the educational system, the better of the outcome for each individual student. I think that's really where the rubber meets the road. Students are all different. They come from different environments, different parents, different motivations, and I think all that changes even through their education. So we just need to figure out ways that we can help each of those stories be a success story, and that's the reason I want to be in it.
Brett Washburn, candidate for school board, subject to the election early voting as well as on November the 6th. And we congratulate you for stepping forward, and glad to have you with us today.
Yeah, good to see you again, Jim.
Yeah. And I'll be back in just a moment. We'll have that sheriff's report recorded earlier for broadcast at this time. It's 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thanks, Brett.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325.
Hi, this is Haley from the gift shop at Smith's Drugs in downtown Forest City. We have a huge inventory of fall items that include dresses, cardigans, leggings, and shoes. Plus, we have several new books from local authors that would make great gifts for anyone. Our summer items are marked 30% off the lowest ticketed item, so come in the gift shop at Smith's Drugs in Forest City and see what we have for you.
Mountain values stand strong, just like Ralph Heiss. Ralph is A-rated and endorsed by the NRA, and conservative Ralph Heiss wants to protect the integrity of our elections and supports voter ID. Liberal David Wheeler's values? Well, David Wheeler stands with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and Wheeler donated to both their campaigns. This election, know where you stand. Re-elect conservative Ralph Heiss. Paid for by Ralph Heiss for NC Senate.
Congratulations again to Crystal Lauder, of Polk County. She's a secretary at Polk Middle School. She has won the Daylight Donuts this morning from our drawing. And we're being kind to Lewis and Joyce Ward. They're celebrating a wedding anniversary. They live in Rutherfordton. Now here is the sheriff's report. Officer King reported in this morning.
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Department responded to 122 calls for service. There were 10 arrests processed in the jail, and the jail currently has 182 people confined. On our incident reports, we had 3 incidents that occurred last night in the Dobbinsville area of Ellenboro. First one occurred at 163 Dobbins Road, Ellenboro, reported by Lisa Matheny. It was attempted first-degree burglary. The second one was reported by Sue Taylor from 170 Dobbins Road. It was attempted first-degree burglary and damage to personal property. And the third one was a Melissa Green from 122 Dobbins Road. It was also a breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. In these incidents, a Harley Rice was located and arrested on scene and charged with attempted first-degree burglary, breaking and entering felony, and larceny after breaking and entering, possession of burglary tools, and damage to personal property. And he received a $90,000 secured bond. On the other incident reports, Michael Connor from Hunter Road in Rutherford reported a first-degree trespass and damage to personal property. Brandy Cordell from Piney Mountain Church Road in Ellenboro reported a larceny of a motor vehicle. Same was a 2010 Nissan Altima. And a Butler Auto Parts from McSwain Road in Forest City reported a case of forgery. And a Donald Maccabee from Church Drive in Forest City reported a break and entering felony and larceny after break and entering. Looks like it was larceny of medication. On the other arrest reports, Kelsey Stanley from Airwood Drive in Rutherford was served with a show cause order. Christopher Towery from Cane Creek Mountain Road in Bostic was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon, second-degree trespass, and assault on a female. Received a $1,500 secured bond. Ethan Towery, also from Cane Creek Mountain Road in Bostic, was arrested and charged with assault and battery and second-degree trespass, and received a $1,500 unsecured bond. And a Christopher McSwain from Eastwood Drive in Shelby was served with a failure to appear on a misdemeanor and received a $12,000 secured bond. And that's all we have for today.
Thank you for making WCAB your radio station of choice in the foothills. Now get the best of both worlds. 100.9 FM and 590 AM Rutherfordton.
That was Officer King reporting from the Sheriff's Department this morning. Authorities are investigating the death of a Mill Spring man whose body was found in Landrum Saturday, according to a release from the Spartanburg County Coroner Rusty Clevenger. According to Clevenger, his office and the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office were called to a scene near the intersection of Blackstock Road and Asheville Highway in Landrum, where the body of 64-year-old Ray Bland McCraw of Flat Branch Trail in Mill Spring was discovered off the roadway. McCraw had been reported missing by family since Tuesday of last week. Authorities pronounced the man dead as of 2:14 p.m. on Saturday. A preliminary exam does not show foul play present in his death, though the coroner said a more thorough exam was set to take place on Sunday. Sports Update is next. Bottom of the hour, Word of Faith speaks out right here live from the Blue Room of WCAB.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach.
Kimbrough straightens up on the hill. The 3-2 pitch to Turner.
Swung on and missed. Strike three, and game one belongs to the Red Sox. The Red Sox have a one-game to none.
Red Sox radio play-by-play man Tim Neverett with the call of the game-winning strikeout as Boston opened the World Series with an 8-4 thumping of Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers bullpen. Andrew Benintendi dazzled, going 4 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs scored. J.D. Martinez had a pair of RBIs, and Eduardo Nunez hit a 3-run shot in the 7th to put Boston in control. But if you ask Nunez, he didn't think the ball was going to make it out.
In the beginning, I thought it was going to be a single because the ball was too high, and I know it was a slow ball. And when I see the ball is going, I was excited because I didn't expect the ball going away.
Game 2 Wednesday night at Fenway. David Price scheduled to start on the mound for the Red Sox against the Dodgers. Hyun Jin Yu. Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett scored in bunches for the Blue Devils in an exhibition game last night. Williamson had 29 points and Barrett put up 23 as Duke crushed Division II Virginia Union at Cameron Indoor Stadium 106-64. The blowout unsurprising. Coach K said that they didn't play very good in the first half against the zone, but responded after halftime.
I liked our effort on the defensive end. You know, we've been working like crazy on our man-to-man defense, so it's good to see in the second half we did a good job.
Blue Devils packing up today. They're in Charlotte for the open of ACC Men's Basketball Media Days. The preseason junket coming 2 days after the ACC had more teams than any other conference in the AP preseason poll, with 7. 3 of those in the top 10. Duke is number 4, Virginia's 5th, and North Carolina is 8. This is NCN Sports.
What's the best-selling small tractor in America? Kubota's BX Series Compact. Now get a BX 1880 for as low as $99 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to gokubota.com for more information.
Hey Hoops fans, basketball season is almost here and the 2018 ACC Basketball Preview Magazine is available for pre-order right now at ACCSports.com. Get the scoop on all the teams before the season starts with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Pre-order your copy today by going to ACCSports.com and clicking on the pre-order banner.
Kubota's L2501DT packs powerful performance in one easy-to-operate compact tractor. Now get payments as low as $135 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to gokubota.com for more information.
Blake Griffin capped his career-high 50-point performance by converting a three-point play with 1.8 seconds left and sent the Detroit Pistons to a 133-132 win over the 76ers in overtime. The Denver Nuggets and New Orleans Pelicans are among the NBA's 5 unbeaten teams. Anthony Davis highlighted a 34-point and 13-rebound performance with a clutch left-wing 3 with less than 2 minutes remaining in a 116-109 win over the Clippers. Dave Pasternak and Patrice Bergeron combined for 3 goals and 7 points as the Bruins whipped Ottawa. That in NHL play. Sidney Crosby scored his first 2 goals of the season and provided the winner at 2:12 of overtime to send the Penguins past Edmonton 6-5. Elsewhere, the Canadiens beat Calgary 3-2 and the San Jose Sharks beat Nashville 5-4. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Upper level moisture over the region this afternoon will leave us with a fair amount of high cirrus cloud cover, probably diminishing from the north late in the day. We'll turn warmer than yesterday with a west to southwest breeze. We'll have highs around 66 to 71. Tonight, turning mainly clear, we'll have a bright full or almost full moon with lows in the upper 30s to mid 40s. Then sunny skies on tap for Wednesday. Cooler again tomorrow with a northerly wind. Highs about 60 to 66. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
We're 41 degrees currently here at WCAB Studios in Rutherfordton. This reminder again, due to the threat of heavy rain, Friday night football has been moved to Thursday night. Thomas Jefferson at Mount Island Charter and Chase at South Point moved to Thursday. And our featured game of the week, Shelby at East, will be on Thursday, 6:45 countdown to kickoff. RS and East Gaston, as far as we know, still will be played on Friday night, but most of the others have been moved to Thursday night due to that threat of heavy rain on Friday. So we'll be there with that broadcast on Thursday night, and Mr. Friday Night Jay Combs will be with me on the radio in the morning to talk about that lineup. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith responds.
Good morning. Such a wonderful day here in Rutherford County at WCAB, and this is Word of Faith Speaks Out. We're here as members of the Word of Faith Fellowship to let you hear from our members what God has done in their lives. And the gospel of Jesus Christ, when it comes into a human's heart to be born again, the fruit is there. And we're bringing you testimonies of our members whose lives have been changed by the Word of God that's been preached at the Word of Faith Fellowship. My name is Carol Reynolds, and this is Chris Doty, and he's going to be sharing a powerful testimony with you today about his life, how he grew up. He and his wife, Ann, and their son, Joseph, are a precious family in our church. Such a blessing to all of us. And so we're going to hear from Chris Doty today, and he's going to tell you what happened in his life and what happened when he came to the Word of Faith Fellowship and what he's doing today. Chris, go ahead and share with our listeners.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm so excited for the opportunity to share what God's done in my life, because he has changed my life and he has brought me out of a horrible pit. And I wanted to start this morning. I know you've heard on the program, you've heard that people talk about the call of God in your life, and you've heard that God has a plan for your life. And that's what I want to share this morning. I want you to see the faithfulness of God and the goodness of God through what I'm about to share with you. I wanted to start this morning in Romans 8. And for those whom he foreknew and loved and chose beforehand, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son. Like I said, God has a plan for our lives, and ultimately share in his complete sanctification, so that he would be the firstborn, the most beloved and honored among many believers. And those whom he predestined, he also called. And we know we have a call of God in our lives, don't we, Carol? Yes, we do. And those whom he called, he also justified, declared free of guilt and sin. And this morning I'm going to share about my childhood and the sin that affected my life, but also how God brought me out. And those whom he justified, he also glorified, raising them to a heavenly dignity. When I was born in Kansas, and was born in Lawrence, Kansas in 1976. And right after I was born, I was rushed to the University of Kansas Medical Center. I was actually in the NICU for 10 days, and in the total in the hospital 3 weeks, my lungs weren't developed. And so I was born premature. My mom, my dad, and my sister, we all lived in Kansas, and I had a good family. You know, I grew up in a very supportive home. Mom and Dad did everything they could to provide what we needed and to give us everything and the support we needed to grow up. Shortly after I was born, though, we moved to Bartlesville, Oklahoma. That's the home of ConocoPhillips now, one of the third largest oil company in the world. And so a lot of oil families there, a lot of people in and out. My dad worked for Phillips, that's why we moved to Bartlesville, and my mom was a nurse. As a young boy, God's drawing power was on my life. I remember always asking questions at church. We grew up in the Baptist church, and I was always asking questions, seeking God, wanting to know more about, what was taught. But there were never any answers, and it was real interesting. It seemed like I was always making an appointment to go to the pastor's office, and I had my list of questions from the sermon, and the pastor would just kind of encourage me and send me on my way. I was baptized when I was 8 into the church. It was a very large church, over 1,000 people. It was one of the largest in Bartlesville. And so basically out of that, I want you to understand I had a good foundation of what was right and wrong. I lived in a good, solid family environment. We knew what was right and what was wrong, but we really didn't have a relationship with Jesus. And there was a struggle, growing up to do what was right. I was very involved in the church, in the youth group and the choir. We went on missions trips. Basically, Mom and Dad said, you have to go to church. I mean, there wasn't a choice. Every Sunday morning we got up if we wanted to or not, and I'm grateful for that. My parents still live in Bartlesville, and my wife's family in Pryor, which is nearby there. So growing up, there was always a striving to be accepted in the community. It was a keeping up with the Joneses, as they say. Basically, if someone had the car, someone had the clothes, you wanted to have everything. There was always a striving to be the best. Growing up into high school, I was involved in Christian groups, prayer meetings, the See You at the Pole every September when the students gathered around. I was the leader for those things. And Vacation Bible School, I was always active in anything in the community. I was a student representative for the DARE program to keep children against drugs, and heavily involved in student government. Basically, I got hurt in football in like 6th or 7th grade, and so I went the direction of choir and student government. And I loved helping with the elderly in the church when we go on mission trips, spending time with them, and Vacation Bible School, taking care of them. I loved working with the children. And even in the 6th or 7th grade, we got our first free hour, and we could choose what to do in that free hour, and I chose to volunteer for the Students with Disabilities class. I loved working with the disabled. And then up into my senior year, I was student government president. I was even the homecoming king. So you can see I had everything. I had the car, I had the clothes, I had the life, but still there was a striving in my heart because I didn't have that relationship with Jesus. Just that, something was missing in my life. In high school, I worked in a Christian bookstore, and I started reading books about faith and started reading books about the Holy Spirit, and God was still drawing my life, and I knew that there was more, and I would take those books in to my pastors, and they would politely say, that's not something you need to be reading. We don't need to go out there thinking about those kind of things. And so here, we went again. And I want to share, too, you heard several months back, Cynthia Nicole Kirkpatrick and Nicole Lowry share their testimonies about when her husband died and how God brought them here. Well, as a little boy, Cynthia is my aunt, and I would spend time with them in Tulsa, and she would take me to non-denominational churches, and she would take me, and I would eat up every bit of the things of God there. And what I really wanted to share, one time, when I was little, I was staying at her house. I'd go up there and spend weekends, spend weeks, and then her husband would fly me home sometimes in his little plane. But one thing important about those visits, I would learn God, and I'd learn the voice of God. And one time we were having a get-together, and we were making a cake, a German chocolate cake, and we were looking for the crystal cake pedestal. And we were busy scurrying around getting the house ready and helping in those things. And Cynthia stopped and she said, "Chris, if we ask Jesus where that pedestal's at, he'll show us." And I thought, well, okay. So we stopped and we held hands. "Jesus, show us where that cake pedestal's at. Show us where it's at." And so we started getting and looking and doing, and God spoke to my heart where that cake pedestal was. I said, "Cynthia, it's in the garage above Uncle Jack's workbench in the cabinet up there." She said, no, we wouldn't put a crystal cake pedestal out there. And I said, "That's what Jesus spoke." So we went out in the garage, and I remember sliding back that cover, and there sat that cake pedestal in its box up above. I learned that I could hear the voice of God. So that was monumental in my life. Unfortunately, though, through the young years of my life, the devil had a plan also for my life. And as a young boy, I experienced some very, very hurtful things. And, when I went to seek help for those things, they say, "Oh, all boys go through that. Everybody experiments. Everybody does those things. It's normal. You'll be okay." And I believed the lies that the devil was telling me, that I was a certain way. And it's amazing, as I was looking back, putting together my testimony, how many people the devil brought into my life that strengthened that lie. Whether it be a minister, a neighborhood friend, a babysitter, anybody, and even the things that you just find in your everyday life. And so basically you're growing up and you're living two lives. You're striving to be good, you're striving to do your best, you're striving to be pleasing, make sure you're the good Baptist young man that everybody thinks you are, but at the same time you're living a life of sin inside. So in high school, like I said, there were many people in my life that the devil brought in. I started listening to some very demonic music that even some of the world would probably consider to be terrible, Also starting to give into unclean things, which is sex sin. I know you've probably heard here on the program people mention the unclean. I started drinking and I started smoking, and I was very tormented inside. So at the same time, I'm trying to be this Mr. Good guy. Chris is good, and he's getting all these things, homecoming king, student body president, but at the same time inside I was rotten. And so during high school, I actually spiraled into major depression. And I had to start on medication and counseling. I sought help from pastors and ministers, but most of them were in the same sin I was in. Years later would come out and they would be gone. And that really hurt, because they would all tell you, oh, it's okay to feel that way. Oh, it's okay. Every young man goes through these things. But I knew differently. But there was no power to stop it. There wasn't a relationship with Jesus. So after I graduated high school, I went to Oklahoma Baptist University, which is the crown jewel of the Baptist Convention. That was an honor and privilege to be accepted there. But I continued drinking. I thought, you go there and you're going to have the support you need, from a Christian environment. Well, it was worse because I didn't have any restraint of my family. I didn't have anything. And everybody around me was drinking. Here's how you hide the alcohol. Here's how you hide the cigarette smell. Here's how you get the, everything you need. And it was my choice, though, through it all. And, growing up, that right and wrong was taught. And I actually majored in pastoral ministry with a minor in missions. And, but it was the same as just a formula to apply to life. There wasn't anything life-changing, And very good school, a lot of great people. But again, the devil had his people there. Right there to oblige everything that the devil's plan had for me. My depression got worse. I actually had to go into counseling at OBU, and after the second overdose and being in the hospital, the counselor basically said, sign this paper. If you do it one more time, we have to kick you out of the counseling program. And so, of course, I signed the paper, but there was no change in my life. And so after the third time, they removed me from the counseling program, and I actually ended up in the intensive care unit in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And so after that, in order to be released, I had to enter a counseling program, and I went to a Christian counselor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And my parents would take me there.
So, Chris, was that overdose intentional?
Yes.
Yes, intentional 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to deal with the internal struggle. Again, there was no relationship with Jesus. And at this time, I had stopped actually talking to my Aunt Cynthia, who had by that time moved here. At that time, growing up, how much I loved hearing the words of God, and actually met several people from the Word of Faith came with her out to visit. They'd go with her to make sure that she made it okay. It's a long drive. Long drive. So went to the counselor in Tulsa, and again, he told me it was okay. Young men feel this way. It's okay to be giving to these things. It'll all change, it'll all pass, you'll mature, and it'll be okay. And I'm thinking, no, it's not okay. So after that counseling center, the next step was basically checking me into an inpatient facility. And I remember going with my dad through the parking lot. We walked up to the doors, and I said, Dad, I can't do this. I said, I can't. This is not. I don't know what in me was it, but I said, no, please don't make me do this. And he didn't. So they allowed me to go back. I went back to college, and the best thing about going to Oklahoma Baptist University was I met my wife, Ann, there. Yes. And Ann and Robin were on the show several months back. They were the 2 young ladies from Vietnam.
That's right.
And
the Miracles from Saigon.
Yes, from Miracles from Saigon. And I'll never forget the first day I stepped foot on campus. She was actually my group leader. They divided up all the freshmen. We had our little beanies and into 10, and they had 2 seniors, and she was my group leader. She said, I'll never date a freshman, and I'd certainly most never date a pastoral ministry major. And but we became friends, and after a year and a half, we started to date, and later we got married in 1997. It was a miracle, despite ourselves. So in getting married, there were some standards that were set there, and she really helped me to start coming out of the alcohol and the cigarettes, and but I was still on the antidepressants there. So we started going to still God's drawing us, and we started going to Family of Faith Fellowship there in Shawnee, which was a great little church there that had a Christian school and a Bible school. And shortly after that, we moved to Tulsa, and Ann got a job at Oral Roberts University, and we started going on missions. We went to Russia in 1999, Mexico, different places, and we were also going to a pretty big church, 15,000 people in Tulsa, 15,000, Victory Christian Center. And we bought our house, And I got a job. Actually, I started working, my first job, I worked at a restaurant with a bar, and that wasn't good. You know, you can imagine with everything that I had dealt with in my life. But I quit that job and got a job at a bank, you know, and started kind of climbing the ladder there. And but still, there was still no relationship with Jesus. We were kind of back to having those restraints of right and wrong. I wasn't doing the heavy drinking and smoking like I was before. Still on antidepressants, having trouble sleeping at night because that torment was still there. But so here's what God did for me. Actually, I want to make a point there too, that emptiness was still there. There still wasn't that relationship with God. And we actually both started to doubt God. Basically, we're in all these things. We've got our house, we've got our cars, we've got our jobs. You know, they'd actually told us we couldn't have children. We're trying to have children, and the doctor said it wouldn't be possible. And so we got to the point we were just started to doubt God. And, you know, is this it? It's kind of overrated. You know, we thought this is what we wanted for our life, and yet there wasn't a fulfillment there. So I mentioned that we had our house, and another little story where I bought a garage door opener. And so the man come to put it in, and he knocked on the door, opened the door, and he said, "My name is such and such, and I'm here to put in your garage door." I said, "Okay, great." And I went in and I told Ann, I said, "I think I know that man." And I went back out and I said, "Do you know Cynthia Nicole Kirkpatrick at the time?" And he said, "Yes, I talked to Nicole last night." He actually went to the Word of Faith Church in Tulsa.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so that got us back in touch. I hadn't talked to Cynthia. She had called several times. My roommate would answer. Through college, I wouldn't talk to her because I knew the sin that was in my life. And so it was, I had cut them off here. But we got back in touch with them, and it was good. They had come to visit, and we actually went to one service with the Tulsa church out there. And then in 2000, we went to, they invited us to a youth seminar. And I wanted to read another, yes, here in North Carolina. So I wanted to read you, though, the scripture in 1 Thessalonians 5:24. It says, "Faithful and absolutely trustworthy is he who is calling you to himself for your salvation, and he will do it. He will fulfill his call by making you holy, guarding you, watching you, and protecting you as his own." And that's what God did for us. He kept us through all of that. It kept me alive, the mercy of God, after everything we'd been through and we'd given our lives to. So we came in 2000. Now, we had heard, all we really knew, we'd heard of the attacks already on watching television. And so we didn't know what we were coming into. But I knew the lives of the people from here that would come and visit. And I knew my Aunt Cynthia and Nicole and the changes I had seen in them. Yes. And so the youth seminar in July 2000, we drove down. We were late that first morning. And I'll never forget, your husband Todd was outside with my cousin Nicole and Aunt Cynthia waiting for us. And I'll never forget when they opened those doors. It was the first time I felt peace in my life. Everybody, it was in corporate prayer, strong prayer. And it was so beautiful and so peaceful. And they took us in, and Cynthia put her arm around me. She said, "Chris, just open your heart." God was right there for me, and it was just like every question all my life that had ever needed to be answered, every pain, every hurt, Jesus was right there to help me to take it away. And of course, we met Sam and Jane, two of the most loving, compassionate people that you could ever meet. And excuse me just a second. We're doing it on time. We got 42 years to cover here with this. But basically, they taught me, just in that first week, I remember Ann and I, between services, we'd sit down and go over the scriptures and say, I've never heard this before. This is amazing. Look at this, what they said here, and I felt the love of God here, and that's so true what they said here. And they taught me to believe God's plan for my life.
Yes.
And I wasn't what the devil said I was. And that was the most important thing. That was a change in my life. We started to visit more often, and we started going to the church in Tulsa. There was still a small remnant left in Tulsa, and we started going there. And probably around the end of 2001, I don't really know what happened, but we started not going to church, started drinking some more, and God came to us December 2001, and he said, Chris, you're going to choose me or you're going to choose the world or you will die. And when that word came to me, I got on my face, and Ann got on our faces, and we cried out for God's will for our life. That was a Tuesday night. Wednesday, we turned in our notices to work. Friday, we listed our house on the market, and Saturday, we packed our bags and moved to North Carolina. Left the house just like we were going to work. We had left it all because God said if I didn't get out, I'd be back in the same mess that I was in college, and I wouldn't make it.
You knew what that meant because you had been close to death before.
Because I had been close to death before. And in 2 Timothy 2:13, I wanted to share with you, if we are faithless, he remains faithful.
That's right.
And that is so true in our lives. True to his word and to his righteous character. God was faithful through the whole thing, and we just had to turn our heart to him. When we got here, we got here Saturday night. Monday morning, I started working on a job with Mark Morris that hosts a program here, and what a blessing. Now, I worked at a bank, and here I'm going into construction. So it was a little bit of a change for me, but God knew what I needed. We got deliverance. I don't know if you remember, real quick, you and Brooke Covington, one of the other ministers in the church, were teaching us a class. I think it was the marrieds, middle marrieds, and you were talking about the trash can of your life and how God will clean it up. And it was in that just shortly after we moved here, and it was like God reached down and took the lid off that trash can of my life and just dumped it all out right there and delivered me from all that. And I haven't wanted alcohol. I haven't had a drink in 17 plus years, a cigarette. I weaned off the antidepressants. I can sleep at night. I'm not depressed by any means whatsoever. God delivered and saved my life from the pits of hell. And in Psalms 40 it says, I waited patiently and expectantly for the Lord, and he inclined to me, and he heard my cry. That's right. And that's the story of our lives. He heard my cry all those years of being drawn by him. He brought me up out of a horrible pit of tumult and destruction, out of the miry clay, and he set my feet on a rock, steadying my footsteps and establishing my path. And that's what God did for me. Like I said, no more antidepressants, no more alcohol, no more smoking, no more depression, just the love of God that filled my heart when God brought me to the Word of Faith Fellowship here.
And Chris, so many have been in a battle, over their mind with the antidepressants, with the hopelessness and, the ravages of sin.
Yes.
And for you to come out of that.
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It is a miracle.
And so I just wanted to share what a loving, caring, nurturing place. I mean, the best place in the world. I've been from Russia to Africa to South America to Mexico, South America, all over the United States on missions. And I haven't felt the love of God like I do here. And in 2003, God blessed us with our biggest blessing, our son Joseph. The doctors, remember I said we couldn't have children. And God did that for us. And he's a senior now in the Word of Faith Christian School. And he's in college. He'll graduate in May with a double degree, one from isothermal and one from Cleveland Community College. And, I trust his teachers with his life. I worked in the school from even before he was born. When we first came, we started volunteering in the school, and there's no abuse. There's only nurturing, loving, and caring. And we've been on mission trips with the church. We've been in the pastors' homes, in the ministers' homes, and I trust them with our lives. They're the same that they are. What they preach in the pulpit is how they live their lives. And I've never seen that before. And like I said, they taught me God's plan for my life. Those things that I was giving to wasn't wrong, and they dealt with that sin and brought me out. So, by giving me the Word of God. So, and one other thing that I don't know if I mentioned it, way back in Tulsa, actually, when I started working at the restaurant, I started nursing school. 3 days, I think I made it, but between the schizophrenia in my mind and buying a house, it just wasn't going to work out. But what God did for me when I moved to North Carolina, after he healed my mind and my body, he sent me back to nursing school, and I got my LPN and then my RN, and right now I'm in school for my bachelor's, and I'm currently working in the intensive care unit at Rutherford Hospital. And I think what a miracle that is, because I deal with all the time people, young men that have overdosed, and I get to share with them God's plan because I've been there. and that's really a blessing to be able to
Blessing to our
do that.
community, even. That's such a blessing.
So, and I love that. And God, even for Ann, she was going to take the LSAT to get into law school. The day we moved here, she was scheduled to take it. She had aced all the tests, and God brought it back around. Right now, she's working in the law office with Mark and them, and she loves that there. So we are so happy and we're so grateful. We have a few minutes left. Let me give you one more scripture out of Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the thoughts and plans that I have for you, says the Lord, plans for peace, for well-being and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." And that's what I have in my heart today, is hope. And I'm hoping to share with everyone here that God has a plan for you too, and that, if you cry out to Him, He'll be there. He'll make a way for you.
I remember when the Lord blessed you and Ann with Joseph. The whole church rejoiced.
Yes.
It was such a blessing that God had blessed them with a son, and to see the miracle work and power of God in your life, Chris, and Ann's is such a testimony.
Yes.
I mean, I've had a person very close in my life who was a lot like your testimony. And I remember one time she said to me, she said, "I'm on these antidepressants," and she said, "I'm going to be on them the rest of my life." And I wanted, I told her there's hope.
Yeah.
There is hope.
There is.
And for you to bring a message of hope like that, Chris, I mean, what a testimony, what a blessing. And that's been so many of our testimonies on the program.
Yes, it has been.
That we came out of such darkness.
Yes.
These are things that people in the world don't see a way out. But we're here to say there is a way out.
There is a way, and there is hope.
And you found it. And it was
Yes.
through the gospel of Jesus Christ,
That's right.
through being in the church where God planted you, and having the ministers of God, the friends you have in God.
Yes.
It was all part of His plan. And God moved you around so that you could get in
Yes.
the will of God.
Yes.
And we know that, and we believe it at the Word of Faith. We believe that God cares about every detail of our life, and that God wants to set us free. And I know you could hear in Chris's voice, where he come from, the pain of living a lifestyle like that, and waking up and you're sad, going to bed you're sad, whatever you do you're sad. Nothing makes it better.
Nothing.
And for you to know peace for the first time in your life, what a miracle.
It is a miracle.
And
Yes, it is.
we're so grateful. We invite you to go to our website, www.wordoffaithfellowship.org, and you can hear many of our members' testimonies, what God did in their life. And there were so many lies printed about us in the newspaper, things that were not true, things they said went on in our church, things they said our members did, our pastors did. It's not true.
That's
and
right,
we
it's
came
not.
to the airways to let you
To share
know,
what the truth
for
was.
you to hear the truth
Yes.
from the members of the Word of Faith Fellowship. So on behalf of our pastors and all of our members and associate pastors, we bless you, we're praying for you, and thank you for listening. Have a great day, and we'll